Chosen one. Stop right now. You have 30 seconds to decide whether this becomes another message you scroll past, or the divine interruption that breaks the delay off your life. Do not look away. Do not let distraction steal this narrow window, because heaven has opened a door over you, and the enemy is trying to slam it shut before you receive what was sent for your spirit. This is not random. This is not entertainment. This is an emergency signal from the throne of God, guarded by Archangel Michael, because something hidden has been blocking your breakthrough, and it is about to be exposed. That pressure in your chest, that sudden fog in your mind, that strange urge to leave before the message even reaches your soul, discern it. That is not weakness. That is resistance. For too long, you have watched doors almost open, blessings almost arrive, support almost appear. Then everything collapsed at the final edge. You kept asking why it always stops when you get close. Heaven answers now. Your destiny was not denied. It was attacked. The enemy did not fight you because your future was empty. He fought you because your breakthrough will destroy a pattern, expose hidden control, and pull you out of a cycle that was never supposed to own you. Stay focused, because once the root of this delay is named, the false authority behind the blockage will begin to break, and the shield around your assignment will rise again. So mark this moment before the window closes. Go to the comments and write, "Every delay is broken. My breakthrough is released by heaven." Hit like as a sign that distraction no longer commands your attention. Subscribe, because what comes next is not for the half awake. Share this with someone who has been fighting in silence and feeling forgotten. Keep your eyes locked here. Heaven is about to issue the verdict. And once the hidden enemy is exposed, the chain holding your future hostage will lose its power. How many times? In the dead of night, with tears streaming down your face completely unnoticed. Have you looked up and desperately cried out to God, "Why is my path so much thornier and harsher than everyone else's?" You look at the people around you, people who seemingly exert no effort, yet effortlessly harvest everything. They walk on paths paved with rose petals. Doors automatically swing open for them. Relationships come smoothly, and their careers advance as if a tailwind is constantly pushing them forward. Meanwhile, you, the chosen one, are left struggling to carve a path through a thicket of thorns, with bleeding feet and a scarred heart. Just when you think you are about to cross the finish line, an invisible storm hits, throwing you violently back to the starting point. Every time you try to build something, it crumbles right before your eyes. Rejection, betrayal, misunderstandings, and devastating losses just keep raining down on you relentlessly. But pay close attention, and absolutely do not take your eyes off the screen right now. The enemy is hoping you will lose patience and scroll past this video, because they know that if you keep listening, the entire curse manipulating your life will be permanently broken. What is about to be revealed in the coming minutes will not only decode the root of your past pain, but will also hand you a divine code to reclaim everything that has been stolen from you. Stay steadfast. There are times when the exhaustion becomes so overwhelming that you begin to believe the toxic whispers of the enemy, that you are being punished, that you carry a curse, that heaven has turned its back on you, struck your name from the registry of grace, and left you to rot in some dark corner of this world. The isolation becomes suffocating, swallowing up your faintest rays of hope. You feel buried beneath the weight of bills, under the pressure of expectations, beneath pains that cannot be named, and under the terrifying silence of the heavens. But listen very closely to this decree. The isolation and suffering you have endured are absolutely not a punishment. It is a preparation of cosmic proportions. You are not a mere weed seed. A weed seed can be sown casually on shallow ground, sprout overnight with a single drop of dew, shoot up quickly, and flaunt itself under the blazing sun. But then, with just one strong gust of wind or a prolonged scorching heat wave, its roots wither instantly, and it is swept away as if it never existed. Heaven did not design you to be such a fragile blade of grass. Deep within your soul, God has implanted the genetic code of a mighty ancient tree. You carry the seed of a 1,000-year-old cedar, destined to spread its branches to canopy the entire sky, providing shade for the vulnerable. And its roots must plunge so deep that they tap into the eternal underground springs. And the ultimate law of both nature and the spiritual realm is this: the greater the mission a seed carries, the deeper it must be buried. The heavy burden that has been crushing your chest all these years, the pressure that felt like it would grind you into dust, that is a thick slab of concrete. The dark forces saw the radiant potential within the chosen one before you were even formed in the womb. They dreaded the day you would break out. So they piled on the boulders of misfortune and poured the concrete of despair directly over your seed. They want you to believe that you have been buried alive. They want to turn that place into your permanent grave, but the enemy has made a fatal miscalculation. They do not realize that. For a seed carrying the genetic code of heaven, the darkness of the tomb and the darkness of the incubator look identical to the naked eye. The only difference is the hand of the Creator who placed it there. God permitted that burial to take place. He allowed that concrete to press down on you, not to destroy you, but to protect the seed from the superficial gaze of predators, and to force you to establish deep roots before reaching for the heights. Throughout all those dark years, when you thought there was zero progress, when you wept because you felt stuck in place, deep beneath the earth, in a realm unseen by anyone, your roots were expanding mightily. Your patience was piercing through solid bedrock. Your faith was clinging tightly to the eternal source of life. The rejections you faced were simply heaven's way of clearing the space so your roots wouldn't get entangled in toxic, superficial things. Those bitter tears were the divine irrigation, softening the rigid outer shell of your seed. That is why the crushing was necessary. The outer shell of the seed had to crack open, having to undergo an agonizing process of breaking so that the life within could be unleashed. The Bible recorded an absolute truth to validate your pain in Psalm 3:4-18. The Lord is close to the brokenhearted and saves those who are crushed in spirit. Do not abandon this message just as the dawn is about to break. If you give in to distraction and swipe away now, you will forever remain at merely understanding your pain without ever laying hands on the massive compensation reward that is about to be distributed. Stand your ground until the very end. Right in the next segment, a magnificent reversal will be proclaimed, overturning every unjust verdict the enemy has slammed onto your life. If you leave, you will rob yourself of the privilege of hearing the prophecy of divine acceleration. Reflect on this truth: He has never forsaken you for even a fraction of a second. In your absolute worst, most broken, most seemingly worthless moments, that was precisely when He was the closest. His hands cradled your battered soul. He carefully gathered every shattered piece, every jagged breath, every salty tear that soaked your pillow in the dead of night. The breaking is not the end. It is a glorious cracking sound, signaling that the obsolete outer shell has finally given way for a primal power to awaken. You have not been left behind. You are simply being incubated in a classified space, a time frame guarded strictly by the angels themselves. Those who bypassed you yesterday do not carry the same heavy weight of destiny as you do. This seed was engineered to endure the highest category hurricanes without being uprooted. And to achieve that, forging under immense pressure is an absolute necessity. Therefore, right now, calm your anxious heart, unclench your tense, exhausted shoulders, take a deep breath and receive His absolute peace. Let the atmosphere of heaven fill your room in this moment, soothing every bleeding wound in your mind. Let this validation seep into your very cells. You have been seen. You have been understood. Every single injustice you have borne has been meticulously recorded in the book of life. Your resilience is nothing short of a miracle. Despite the crushing weight of countless layers of oppression, despite the deprivation of light and warmth, you never surrendered your faith. You did not allow the darkness to turn your heart into a callous stone. You have safeguarded the goodness and the tenderness of your soul. You have successfully survived the darkest of burials. The darkness has fulfilled its purpose. The season of the incubator has officially come to a close. The phase of taking root in the invisible realm is complete, but lock in your focus right now. And absolutely do not scroll away. The explanation is over. Now it is time for heaven's intervention to begin. What heaven is about to do next to that slab of concrete weighing down on the chosen one will shake the very earth beneath your feet. The gavel of the Supreme Judge is about to strike in the coming seconds, delivering a ruling that will completely reverse all the delays of your past. The spring has been compressed to its absolute maximum, and if you do not leave, the door to divine acceleration will violently burst open right before your eyes. Take a very close look at your most recent failures. How many times did everything seem perfectly aligned? The door of opportunity cracking open. The contract on the verge of being signed. A relationship blossoming. A project finally taking shape. And then suddenly, everything shattered into pieces for absolutely no logical reason. How many times have you stood right at the finish line, just one single step away from deliverance, only to be tripped up by some invisible force and thrown painfully to the ground? You blamed yourself. Didn't you? You beat yourself up, convinced that you just weren't good enough, didn't try hard enough, or that your destiny was simply a black hole of sheer bad luck. But God wants to awaken you in this exact moment. Did you actually fail? Or were you blatantly sabotaged right at the finish line? The financial exhaustion that drains you day by day, the crumbling of relationships that seemed unbreakable, the chaotic troubles that all crash down on you at once without reason. These are absolutely not the results of your incompetence or bad luck. Those are the fingerprints left behind by a thief in the night. Imagine you have worked tirelessly to prepare for the most spectacular New Year's Eve of your life. Everything in the house is cleaned spotless. The banquet table is set. The lights are sparkling in anticipation of the sacred transition. You are overflowing with hope. But right at the exact moment the fireworks are set to launch, just a second before crossing into the new year, an intruder sneaks into the shadows and severs the main power line to your house. Everything is plunged into a dead, freezing, and chaotic darkness. That is exactly what the spiritual enemy has done to the life of the chosen one. They do not show their faces when you are at rock bottom. Rather, they lurk in the shadows, waiting for the exact moment you are about to step into your season of harvest. They cut off your power source, sabotage your finances to bleed you dry, attack your loved ones to distract you, and sow pure chaos to drown you in the darkness of self-doubt. They want you to believe that your house was simply devoid of light when the reality is that your power lines were maliciously and intentionally severed. Why you? Why would a dark force deploy such a massive legion just to torment one single human being? Hear this and engrave it into your soul. Chosen one, the spiritual enemy never wastes its ammunition on a worthless target. They never attack those who have already surrendered. They target you because the sheer volume of light you harbor in your soul is blindingly radiant. The energy core, the deep compassion, and the divine mission heaven has embedded inside you pose a terrifying threat to the kingdom of darkness. You vibrate at a divine frequency capable of shattering chains not just for yourself, but for your bloodline, your family, and everyone around you. A colossal lighthouse is about to be ignited, and that is precisely why the thief is desperately scrambling to stop you at all costs. It wants to smash the lantern before you have the chance to illuminate the entire ocean. Right now, as the veil of fog is being violently torn away and the truth about these cowardly tactics is being exposed, the enemy is furious. They are in absolute panic because their cloak of invisibility has been stripped away. Absolutely do not blink. Do not let the enemy distract you with a text message notification at this moment. Do not let the ring of a phone, a random noise, or a wave of anxiety intrude and hijack your focus. If you surrender and look away from this screen now, you are allowing the thief to retreat into the shadows and get away scotangent free with everything they have stolen from you. As long as you keep your gaze firmly locked onto this message, the power of darkness is entirely stripped away. It is time to put an end to those tears of self-pity. The sorrow, the exhaustion, and the resignation have run their course. Now is the time to awaken the righteous, holy indignation within you. Discovering that you have been robbed is not an excuse to spiral deeper into despair. It is the catalyst to realize in whose hands the true, supreme authority lies. The opportunities that slipped away, the finances that were drained, the years that were stagnated, they did not just evaporate into the void. They were unlawfully plundered from you, and in the courts of spiritual law, when a thief is caught red-handed, they must not only return what was stolen, but they are mandated to pay it back sevenfold. You are not a victim of fate. You are a fierce warrior who has just caught the enemy lurking behind your back. To seize back absolute control and sever every dark hand attempting to sabotage your future, you must rise and take action immediately. Secure your royal authority by typing "I expose the enemy." I reclaim all my blessings in the comments below. That comment is not just a string of lifeless words, it is a razor-sharp sword. An official declaration of war thrust straight into the spiritual realm to demand justice. Let heaven witness your unwavering resolve. That thief has been gloating. He thought he had made a clean getaway with the peace, the finances, and the divine blessings that heaven had destined for you. He arrogantly believed that his crimes were executed flawlessly in the dark, entirely undetected. He thought he had wiped away his tracks, but he failed to realize one terrifying truth: God has been recording it all, every act of sabotage, every tear he forced you to shed on the highest definition surveillance of heaven. The divine investigation is officially closed. The charges have been formalized, and what the great judge is about to bring down upon the enemy's head in this next segment will rupture the earth and unleash a devastating reversal that they could never have anticipated. Do not leave, because the verdict is being read right now. Listen closely. Do you hear it? Quiet your entire mind right this second. Become so still that you can hear every single heartbeat in your chest. Up there, in the highest, most supreme court of heaven, the resounding crack of the judge's gavel has just slammed onto the block. Its echo is reverberating down through the clouds, shaking the foundations of the earth and violently tearing through the darkness that has been suffocating you. For years, the enemy has been running a mock trial inside your own mind. They constantly played the role of the prosecutor, presenting fabricated evidence of your weakness, your guilt, and your unworthiness. They slapped you with an unjust life sentence, locking you away in a prison of debt, stagnation, and blatantly hijacked opportunities. You have been living like a condemned criminal, suffering harsh punishments, even though deep down in your soul, you know exactly how hard you have fought and how purely you have lived. But today, in this very instant, the Supreme Court of God has overturned the entire case file. The greatest judge of the universe, the one who sees right through every deception, has reviewed the divine footage, and he declares enough. Your unjust life sentence is officially nullified. Every single spiritual debt, the baseless guilt, the suppressed anxieties, the haunting ghosts of your past is wiped entirely clean without a trace. Every material robbery, the lost assets, the unrewarded hard work, the stolen opportunities has been meticulously cataloged in a divine indictment against the forces of darkness. The absolute ruling has been handed down, and no force in existence possesses the authority to overturn it. Not guilty and fully restored. The Bible, the supreme constitution of heaven, establishes an inviolable decree. In Isaiah 5:4-17, no weapon forged against you will prevail, and you will refute every tongue that accuses you. Embed this promise into your mind, no matter what weapon the enemy has forged against you, whether it be slander, betrayal, poverty, or absolute stagnation right now. Those weapons are rusting and crumbling to dust under the supreme authority of divine judgment. The blade of their accusation has been snapped in half. In this very moment, the heavy iron doors of your dark cell are swinging wide open, The brilliant light of freedom is flooding into the coldest, darkest corners. Are you ready to walk out of that spiritual prison with your head held high and your dignity fully restored? Are you ready to cast off the prisoner's uniform of low self-worth and drape yourself in the mantle of glory? Hold your ground right here. Absolutely do not leave. Confirm your innocence and claim your authority in this sacred moment. The enemy is retreating in utter humiliation. Every single curse has been pulverized. Freedom, finally, truly belongs to you. You are entirely free. You are no longer bound by any form of stagnation. But wait, do not rush away just yet. Because heaven never simply unlocks the prison doors and sends you out empty-handed. No, his laws do not operate that way. Accompanying this decree of freedom is a massive compensation check, a payout with compounded divine interest waiting for you just ahead. What you are about to receive in this next segment will utterly shatter every limitation of time and space that the human mind can comprehend. The explosive recoil of the spring is waiting for you. God declares with resounding authority across the heavens, the season of drought is officially over. The restitution that heaven has prepared for you is not some slow, agonizing drip. It does not operate according to dry mathematical formulas or the logical calculations of the flesh. Picture your life over these past several years as a massive, industrial-grade steel spring. The enemy, the brutal circumstances, the financial starvation, and the invisible barriers have continuously applied immense pressure, crushing the chosen one flat against the ground. They compressed you until you couldn't breathe, to the point where you felt like you were about to snap and shatter into a million pieces under the crushing weight of the world. But the darkness is incredibly foolish when it comes to the laws of the spiritual realm. They are entirely ignorant of one supreme principle. The tighter a spring is compressed, the more astronomical the kinetic energy stored inside it becomes. Any force that attempts to bury you at rock bottom is, in reality, just fully charging the energy for your explosive rebound. And in this exact moment, as the hand of God abruptly releases that pressure, the uncoiling will not happen slowly or gradually. It is going to be a violent upward launch, a supernatural explosion of momentum that will rip right through the very fabric of space. That is divine acceleration. From the exact second the not guilty verdict was decreed, all standard laws of time have been entirely bent to serve you. The monumental achievements that take others 10 years of agonizing struggle, sweat, and tears to build, God is going to drop straight into your lap in a matter of months, or even weeks. Your timeline for promotion has been completely reprogrammed to the speed of light. There are no more delays, no more withering away in the waiting room of your destiny, no more dreams left to rot on paper. Heaven has stamped and sealed a highly specific timeline exclusively for you. The prophecy has been released, and no earthly force possesses the authority to revoke it. Every single salty tear you shed in isolation, every moment of humiliation, every single scar, they are all combining to form a torrential waterfall, irrigating a colossal harvest that is on the verge of exploding. Hear this with absolute clarity and engrave this declaration deep into your bones. May is your threshold of breakthrough. The very first days of this new month will carry a divine wrecking ball force, pulverizing every single door that was ever ruthlessly slammed shut in your face. This miraculous reversal is not some empty promise or psychological delusion. This is the divine law of cause and effect, set in stone. Look to the supreme constitution of heaven, in Amos 9:1-3, where the sovereign word of the Lord decrees the days are coming, declares the Lord, when the reaper will be overtaken by the plowman and the planter by the one treading grapes. Do you comprehend the terrifying magnitude of this prophecy? Your blessings are going to pour out so rapidly, so relentlessly, and so massively that before you even finish harvesting one crop, the sprouts of the next season's bounty will already be shooting up through the soil. Finances, opportunities, health, absolute peace, and divine connections will pile on top of one another, flooding into your life like an unstoppable hurricane of prosperity. Lock your eyes onto the screen right now. Do not blink. Do not ever allow your limited, logical human mind to speak up and question the speed of God. Your fleshly mind will scream in your ear that this is completely impossible. Or how could things possibly turn around this fast? But remember this, you are being guided by the Creator who invented both time and space. When He issues the command to accelerate, the entire universe is forced to clear the path, embrace, and activate this acceleration immediately. Down in the comments section, boldly declare, by typing, "I receive the acceleration. May is my breakthrough." Send a massive shockwave into the invisible realm, affirming that you are totally and completely ready for this monumental rebound. The momentum of this elevation is now completely unstoppable. The spring has violently uncoiled, and you are launching straight into the stratosphere of glory. The trajectory has been locked in. But pay close attention to safely contain such a colossal and powerful influx of blessings. You require an absolute shield of protection, a secure vault that cannot be penetrated by any of the enemy's flaming arrows. The immense momentum of your breakthrough has been established. But to withstand the colossal volume of blessings about to rain down upon you, you need absolute, impenetrable protection. Because the laws of the spiritual realm are crystal clear, it is precisely when your light blazes the brightest that the forces of darkness will violently thrash about, launching their final, desperate counterattacks. But cast out every ounce of fear immediately, in this very second. Archangel Michael is drawing his flaming sword of authority and carving an unquenchable ring of fire directly around your name. That divine wall of fire is crashing down from the highest heavens, blazing fiercely and radiantly, like a colossal torch, illuminating the dead of a freezing winter night. It is awe-inspiring, radiating an intense, consuming heat that incinerates any dark forces daring to lurk nearby. Not a single poison-tipped arrow from the enemy. Not a single curse. No toxic jealousy. And no scheme of sabotage can possibly penetrate this ultimate shield of defense. Any sinister force that intentionally tries to tamper with the destiny of the chosen one from this second forward will be instantly incinerated into ash. Your safety is now absolute. You are standing under the canopy of the highest, most supreme authority in the universe. Quiet your soul and physically feel this presence. How many times have you questioned whether your deepest intuitions were merely delusions? How many times have you tormented yourself, wondering if you were slowly going insane for clinging to an invisible miracle in the middle of a brutally harsh reality? Right now, heaven wants to use the sheer majesty of this wall of fire to validate you once and for all, incinerating every last seed of doubt in your mind. You are not crazy. Your intuition was never wrong. The absolute truth is that God is using this very video, in this exact, precise moment, to speak to you directly and hand-deliver His divine decree of protection over your life. Close your eyes for just a fraction of a second. Do you feel that sudden, comforting warmth that just began spreading across your chest? Do you sense that bizarre shift, an indescribable stillness and profound peace that has just blanketed the atmosphere of the very room you are sitting in? That is not your imagination. That is the tangible, undeniable presence of the Holy Spirit. He is personally sealing and fortifying your physical space. He is actively purifying every ounce of toxic energy, wrapping you completely in a frequency of absolute holiness, perfect peace, and eternal power. And squarely under the unbreakable guarantee of this majestic wall of fire, a highly specialized portal of time has officially been opened. The prophecy of divine acceleration is not going to remain suspended in the invisible spiritual realm. It is about to violently collide with your physical reality. Starting from this exact moment, a 7-2-hour window has been fully activated. Over the course of the next 3 days, prepare your spirit to receive earth-shattering signals. It could be the ping of a text message, an email notifying you of an acceptance or a finalized contract, a phone call delivering news of a massive financial rescue, or an unprecedented breakthrough opportunity falling right out of the sky that you never even dared to dream of. That initial sign will serve as the most vivid, undeniable proof, An ironclad confirmation straight from heaven that every single clause in your not guilty and fully restored verdict is officially manifesting right into the palms of your hands. Anchor yourself firmly within this holy frequency. Absolutely do not allow your limited logic, your fleshly calculations, or the skepticism of this world to speak up and hijack your miracle. Your logical brain will scream that 72 hours is far too short of a window to overturn a dead-end situation that has dragged on for years. But remember, you are being shielded by the Creator who engineered and dictates the entire flow of time itself. Do not overthink it. Do not attempt to analyze this with a worldly, mortal brain. Simply open your heart wide. Maintain a posture of ravenous, expectant faith, and prepare yourself for the most spectacular manifestation of your life. The sacred fire has been ignited in full blazing glory, and it will never be extinguished. The timeline for your monumental breakthrough has officially been activated, and the countdown has begun. The angels are standing in formation, awaiting the command to deliver these blessings directly to your front door. However, every single covenant forged by heaven abides by one supreme principle to clearly establish your faith. Right now, heaven is demanding your physical signature, chosen one. Before this message closes, understand this clearly: what was revealed here was not meant to entertain your emotions, but to awaken your authority. You have seen the pattern now. The delay was not proof that God forgot you. The pressure was not proof that you were weak. The sudden losses, the blocked doors, the exhaustion, the confusion, and the repeated almost breakthroughs were signs that something hidden was fighting the release already assigned to your name. But now the secret has been dragged into the light, and what is exposed can no longer rule in silence. You are not walking out of this moment as the same person who arrived here. You are leaving with your eyes open, your spirit steadied, and your faith standing back on holy ground. Heaven has not called you to panic. Heaven has called you to rise with discipline, courage, and expectation. So do not chase the old doors. Do not beg the wrong people to understand you. Do not keep replaying the season that tried to bury you. The seed has cracked. The root has formed. The concrete has lost its power. Now your assignment is to move like someone who knows God has already gone ahead of them. As a final act of agreement, write in the comments, "I step into my restored season with faith." Let that declaration mark the end of fear and the beginning of movement. Save this message so you can return to it when doubt tries to speak again. Share it with one person who feels trapped in delay and needs to remember that heaven still restores. And from this moment forward, watch carefully, not with anxiety, but with expectation. The thief has been exposed. The verdict has been spoken. The protection is active. The delay is losing its grip. Your breakthrough is not a fantasy. It is beginning to take form, and your next step must match the faith you just declared.